Hello again, Brendan with the Homes in Orlando team, and I'm here with the actual builder, Tim Wilkerson of Palm Investments.
Hey there.
And we're standing in the middle of one of the harbor islands, which is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath.
2-bath.
Or 2-bath, excuse me. And you just recently poured the slab for it.
Yep, we poured the slab. Yep, poured the slab this week on 2 of the houses. We poured on Monday of this week, so a couple of days ago. Yeah, hi, I'm Tim Wilkerson, Palm Investments.
How long does it take for it to cure usually?
Concrete cures forever, but the more practical sense is a couple of weeks.
A couple of weeks?
Yeah, usually they literally say it cures for 100 years, but that's kind of silly. But you get full strength as a rule within a couple of weeks, 10 days, 2 weeks, sometimes 30 days, depends on the mix if somebody puts a lot more water in it. But we try not to put too much water in it and try to keep a good strength, a good mix so that it finishes properly. You want a certain level of water so you get a good finish, but yet you want as minimal as possible to keep up the strength.
Gotcha. Minimize
stress cracks, which, cracks happen now and then. But also, as you can see, the cuts, all the good builders, almost all the builders cut as quick as they can to prevent the stress cracks or stress fractures.
So that gives it a little bit of room to breathe?
It kind of allows the crack to occur where you cut.
Okay.
It's literally controlled cracking. So once you pour it, you get up here pretty quick and you measure out, as you can see, they're rectangle panels of certain sizes. They snap chalk lines, they measure it, snap chalk lines, and then keep it within certain boundaries size-wise. They cut about 1 inch deep. It's supposed to be about 1/3 of the slab depth.
Okay.
And that literally allows a place for the slab to control crack. So, because concrete's gonna crack.
Yep.
It's as people don't want it to happen, but it's gonna crack. You literally try to control it and make it to where it's not a crack that you see. You see the cut.
And then I also see we've got rebar up around the entire outside.
Yep, for sure. We do the exteriors, we do masonry, we don't do framed houses on the outside. If we did framed houses, there would be no rebar. And of course, that being in the industry, but so the slab, you pour the slab, you have the reinforcing projecting up at a certain length up out of the slab at certain spacing in order to go into the masonry cells at intervals, which are designed at certain intervals. The masonry goes up full height. You put in more reinforcing in the down cells, and then you put horizontal reinforcing in the top of the masonry all the way around, lintels, and then you get it inspected and poured. Of course, we inspect everything, and everybody has to. The industry actually has some really good guidelines to protect the public, and all the good builders work with that, and they're not upset by it because, again, it helps. Anything that helps the public is really helping us.
Just curious, how long? Because I know what a lot of people don't see is they see this. Okay, this took about a week and a half to do. How long does it take you from the time you buy a property to the permitting to where you're able to break ground?
Oh boy, you're hitting, we've been talking a little bit, haven't we? The industry where we are in Florida is challenging. I'll answer that on a couple of different levels. When we first buy a property, we anticipate selling a house 8 months later.
Okay.
It's just, that's the way it's gonna be. It could be 7.5, it could be 8.5, but basically, when we buy the property, when we close on it, I literally put on my calendar, I have a income schedule, and I put on that 8 months later that I'll be selling this house and making X amount of money on it. But so from the beginning, the development end of it takes about 3 months, which is totally ridiculous. However, you start with the closing, but we start right away. Once we contract the land, if we feel like we have a solid seller and we're going to close on the property, we start the surveys, we start the environmental, and we start all of that right away, which speeds us up. But it's still, from the time we purchase the land to the time we walk away with a permit, it's 3 months.
Because you know, one of the big things we've talked about is there's still a housing shortage, and we're not able to build quick enough. Do you think that if they were able to tighten that up, it would help the market at all?
Easily, yeah. And you bring up, you know, you really have good, valid, not just question, but a valid point, is that the industry has the single biggest challenge that we've talked about many, many times is our jurisdictions. There's no greater obstacle that I face on a daily basis than the jurisdiction where I'm building. Then there's others, etc., that we won't get into now, but right, if somehow, if the greater good, somebody, you know, some higher power was able to say, okay, here, I'm going to help the industry. I'm going to help the general population get houses faster, better, etc., etc. The jurisdiction, permitting requirements, and then the actual jurisdiction's permitting practices. First of all, their requirements are heavy. And then the process that they follow is heavy, and they are incredibly incapable, which makes it even worse. No. Yeah, well, near there.
It's honest. It's
well,
and I know you get it from other, not just you yourself as a builder, but other builders. They're like, oh well, it may take us 6 months to get through the actual permit. And as a spec home builder, you're building similar homes.
Yes.
So you're not changing a lot. So oftentimes these municipalities have already seen your plans, already seen, you know, how you build a house, but they still take you through the exact same process. For instance, we've got 2 St. Croix sitting down there. Those are the 3-bedroom, 2-baths. One has a garage to the right and one has a garage to the left.
Yep.
Really not that much difference, but they could drag the permitting up on one out forever and get another one done like that.
They could bring, in that case, they could bring 2 of them on the table, check one, and sign both off.
Yeah,
easily. But
they're not doing it.
They just won't do it because, and yet, see, that's the jurisdictional side of it. In business, we would of course do that. We wouldn't allow ourselves as businessmen to not take advantage of an obvious source to speed things up and cut cost.
Yep.
If the jurisdictions would do that, you understand not only how quick they could get these permits out, they would be more efficient and they would do better for the builders. Not only are the builders displeased with the length of time and the process, whenever I am in these jurisdictions, which is more than I care to go there, I hear the general public complain just as much as the builders, because it's not the builders, it's the jurisdiction.
Yep. So we've seen what we've got here is affectionately known, of course, as Black Bear Crossing.
Yep.
And we've got 4 homes here. All the lots are well over a 1/4 acre, which is phenomenal these days, especially if you're looking at some of the production builders where they're sticking things, you know, call them the toilet paper houses sometimes, you know,
Yes.
because you can stick literally, you know, hand the toilet paper out the window.
I think they're building on 50, 55-foot lots in many wide in many areas by about 80-foot depth. I don't even know how their houses fit on it, other than other than barely.
Yeah, you notice all the older homes are all single story. A lot of the newer homes are 2-story.
Right.
Because you had to fit the space somewhere.
Square foot had to go up. Yeah.
So we got 2 that actually have the slabs poured. So you're expecting hopefully to start block when on these?
We'll start block early week on both of them. We'll probably, today is Thursday, the 24th. By this time, next week at this time, we will have probably both houses blocked up, and we'll be doing the inspection either Thursday or Friday of next week, and we'll be pouring the lintels the following Monday. It takes about 2 weeks from the time we get the pad ready, the dirt to elevation, then we survey it, and then we put forms up, and we bring the plumber in, etc. Get it inspected, grade it out. Like you saw earlier, we spray the termites, the soil poisoning.
Let's show them the difference. So, because here we've got finished slabs, and on the third one down, which happens to be at St. Croix again, which is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. If I remember right, we're about 1,450 square feet on that one?
1408 living.
1408, okay. That one I saw the workers out here just a little bit ago. And something I didn't know was the termite barrier.
Yep.
I actually got a little bit, and we'll add it in, of the termite gentleman spraying the ground underneath to create the termite barrier.
Yeah.
Now, do all builders do that, or is that something you do?
All builders are required to do it.
Okay.
It is, and that's really a great requirement by the jurisdiction and the state.
Okay.
To require a soil treatment, and it has to be a certain chemical mix required by the state. And again, these are good things. So the way you start out, you clear the land, you bring it out, you build a pad in a certain location to a certain height, and then the guys come out and put the forms up, which you see, the forms go in, and then they grade it out. The plumber comes in, he puts the piping underground in.
Yep.
We are third-party inspections. We use third-party inspections in order to get a better quality, better product, better procedure. And they come out and inspect it. The local jurisdiction oversees that. They don't oversee it meaning physically, but they oversee the paperwork end of it and make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, and the third-party provider is providing those services and the inspection services. Then so once the plumber puts it in, they inspect the plumbing, we pass it, the concrete guy comes in and levels out the dirt, levels it out, compacts it, termite guy comes, and I call it termite spray, that's what it's known in the industry, but it's a soil poisoning, it's a barrier, a chemical barrier, to where the guys come and they have to spray at a certain rate per square foot. So they measure this, they know what size it is, and they know how many gallons to use. It is and it's really great that it's that way instead of just haphazardly, because then you're getting what you should be getting. And we use subs that are obviously in business for a long time, well qualified professionals, licensed, etc., with all the proper licensing and insurance. So point I'm getting at is that you get a true termite treatment, and we've never had any termite damage on any of our houses, and this is a part of it. And then the Visqueen once it's sprayed, the Visqueen goes down, then the reinforcing.
And that helps. This is going to help the concrete from just being smoother underneath or uneven.
Well, it literally prevents the water, the moisture from the concrete from it saturating into the right. And if you can imagine, if the Visqueen's not there, when you pour the concrete on this thing, the moisture would literally absorb into the dirt really quickly, and then it wouldn't have time to properly cure and be finished. So the Visqueen, the plastic, is primarily to preserve and chemically control the concrete so that it doesn't evaporate too quick. The water doesn't soak in. And then the finisher can finish it in a certain amount of time, and you get the strengths and obviously all of the pads are the concrete, all the concrete we pour is designed to a certain pounds per square inch strength.
And then I noticed here the depth is dug out a little bit, so this is what we would call the footer, correct?
Yep, and it's engineered. Of course, we got the drawings, and our engineer makes us go 20 inches by 20 inches, which is a little bit larger than a lot of the engineers do. And if you go to some of the track builders, you'll see that's probably 12 inches by maybe 14 or 12 by 16, as minimal as possible. We could do what they do, but we do several things that they don't do, because we put a little bit more planning, a little bit more money, a little bit more concrete, a little bit more masonry, a little bit more et cetera into it. And that's the product that you have become aware of over the last year or so.
My clients love it.
Yeah.
My clients love it.
And we do too, because we sell a house, and then there's a little bit of a punch list, and now and then we have a little bit of a warranty, but we just don't have issues. We need to make money by moving forward, not by walking backwards. So we want to not have problems with this. That's another reason: good subs, good materials, good planning. pay off.
So then we got, so I would guess maybe tomorrow the guys will be over there at the last one.
Could be tomorrow, I'm not sure. Sometimes the guys will be working somewhere they'll finish and I won't be aware of when they're coming over. That's kind of what happened today. But in the next day or two, they'll be over at the address of 760, which is another 4-bedroom, 2-bath harbor. And we'll probably pour both of these maybe towards the end of next week.
Okay.
So it'd be nice pouring 2 of them at a time. It's literally the first time we have ever poured 2 at a time, but you know, 4 in a row, you can do that.
Yep. Well, I appreciate all the time. That's our weekly update. We'll see you all again next Thursday.
We'll
Take
do it
care.
again.
Yes.